Let's be honest. When someone stops replying to your texts or leaves you hanging, our first thought is, what did I do? Am I no longer interesting? But before you spiral into an existential crisis, remember a key Stoic insight. Most of the time, it's not about you at all. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. In other words, people have their own battles to fight. Their silence is often just a reflection of their internal chaos, stress, distractions, or personal challenges that has nothing to do with your worth. For example, imagine you're chatting with a friend who suddenly goes quiet. Instead of immediately assuming rejection, consider they might be overwhelmed by work or personal issues. It's less "I'm being ignored" and more "they're dealing with their own storms." And hey, maybe it's a great chance for you to send them a kind message rather than a barrage of "why aren't you talking to me" texts. People evolve, and so do their priorities. You might have been the go-to person for a friend, but suddenly their life takes a turn. New job, new friends, new interests, and you find yourself on the outskirts. Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If someone starts ignoring you, it might be because their world has shifted. It's not necessarily a personal slight. It could simply mean that your paths are diverging. And guess what? That's perfectly natural. For example, think about that colleague who used to have lunch dates with you every day. Then they get promoted and their schedule becomes a maze of meetings. It's not that they don't like you anymore, their priorities have changed. The Stoic in you should recognize that not everyone is meant to accompany you on every step of your journey, and that's okay. Now, let's tackle the scenario where silence is deliberate. Sometimes being ignored isn't just an accident of timing, it's a message. And though it might sting a bit, there's wisdom in that silence. Seneca once advised, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." If someone consistently ignores you or only reaches out when they need something, their silence might be telling you that the relationship isn't as balanced as it should be. The Stoic approach here: recognize the message, appreciate the clarity, and invest your energy where it's truly valued. For example, maybe you notice that one friend only texts when they need a favor, and the moment you're in need, their phone stays silent. Instead of feeling hurt or confused, understand that this is a natural filter, an indication of who's genuinely in your corner. A little self-respect goes a long way. Here's where Stoic philosophy shines. One of the most empowering lessons is learning to cultivate indifference, not in the sense of being cold, but in being emotionally resilient. Marcus Aurelius once stated, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't be." When someone ignores you, the first impulse might be to react or chase after them. But as a Stoic, you know that true strength lies in understanding that your peace is yours to control. Their silence doesn't define your worth. Picture this. You send a message and nothing comes back. Instead of diving into anxiety, you shrug, take a deep breath, and focus on what truly matters: your growth, your passions, and your inner peace. It's not about being indifferent in a dismissive way. It's about valuing your own company over the unpredictable responses of others. Sometimes the best response is simply to continue living your life. Believe it or not, sometimes being ignored can be the best thing that happens to you. It's an opportunity to evaluate your relationships and focus on self-improvement. Remember, the Stoics didn't waste their energy on seeking approval. They channeled it into self-mastery. Ever notice how people suddenly remember you when you're not around? It's almost like they want to be reminded of your existence. It's like the universe is saying, "There you go. Now that you've taken a step back, see how much space you've created for your own growth." Cue the epic slow-motion montage of you confidently strutting down your path while the background music swells. Being ignored might sting in the moment, but as a student of Stoic philosophy, you recognize it as a natural part of life. It's a reminder that you cannot control others, only your own reactions. Instead of wallowing in self-doubt, use these moments to practice detachment, grow stronger, and focus on the relationships that truly matter. Ask yourself, is this silence a sign to reevaluate, a blessing in disguise, or just a natural shift in the tides of life? When you approach it with a Stoic mindset, you transform a moment of rejection into an opportunity for self-improvement and inner peace. If you've ever experienced the sting of being ignored, share your story in the comments below. Let's learn from each other's journeys. And if you found these insights helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Stoic wisdom. Until next time, remember, your peace is in your hands. Stay strong, stay wise, and most importantly, stay Stoic.